Welcome to MotoGP Mac. In today's video, we're going to talk about the upcoming race this weekend for the Indonesian Grand Prix at the Mandalika circuit. Now, before we get into it, here is the schedule for Friday. Here is the schedule for Saturday. And here is the schedule for Sunday. Now, with the title already wrapped up, Mark, well, I have no doubt he's just going to go for race wins and try and win as many races as he can this season and try and set more and more records. So there is no doubt in what he is going to do. However, there is going to be a fierce battle between Alex Marquez, Pecco Bagnaia, and Marco Bezzecchi for second place. Realistically, there is 98 points behind for Bezzecchi to Alex Marquez, and Pecco is something like 66. So definitely not over. And Alex didn't really get on too well in Japan, so does need a good race this weekend. Biggest question for me is, has what Pecco found going to work? Is it going to continue on this racetrack? What is going to happen here? Marco Bezzecchi, had a terrible weekend in Japan. Yes, he did finish fourth, but he was not in the ideal condition, and even a week after it, is he still going to be in a fully fit condition? I don't know. Franco Morbidelli next. Well, look, we wait and see what happens with him. Solid fifth place overall in the championship for him. He is supposed to ride the GP25 next week, I believe. Then we have Pedro Acosta. Not a great weekend last weekend in the race. He was doing well until he ran wide. Fabio Di Giannantonio also didn't have a good weekend, but is still thereabouts in seventh place in the championship overall. Fabio Quartararo, realistically, is just looking at him working on himself and trying to ride the bike faster and faster. Really is kind of given up on any performance updates from Yamaha. And look, you can't really blame him, as it does look like full attention is on the V4. Fermin Aldeguer, not a bad race weekend last weekend, top 10, but definitely could have been better. Johan Zarco as well, does need a big weekend. Joan Mir and Luca Marini are really outshining him. Yes, they have the new parts and it really pisses them off, but saying that, just got to get on with it. Brad Binder, solid weekend last weekend, not amazing, really did struggle, I suppose, but definitely could come back here. Marini as well was doing great last weekend until he had the clutch failure. Raul Fernandez, seventh place last weekend. Not a bad session for him, but just needs to be a little bit more consistent in it now. Enea Bastianini, again, looked a bit lost last weekend. Joan Mir, confidence is through the roof right now with the podium. Let's hope he can keep it rubber side down and actually get a finish. Maverick Vinales, he says that his shoulder is fully healed, but his form isn't great. 16th the last time out, so definitely I prefer to crash actually than finish 16th. But anyway, Ayagura crashed out. Jack Miller also. Alex Rins finished 18th. Realistically, Rins' form is just terrible. There won't be any Jorge Martin. Not sure if they're going to send in Savadori. Miguel Oliveira 14th. Obviously, if you don't know yet, Miguel has signed for BMW in World Superbikes. Also, then we have Samkit Chantra, who is moving to World Superbikes, who's not going to be kept on in MotoGP next year. And I think it's probably the right call too. He hasn't really performed, not for any other reason than he just didn't get on with the Honda. And realistically, and I know this sounds very harsh, but he's so slow they can't even use him as a reference point. So they're just moving him to the World Superbike team. And they're getting in a young rookie, Moraz or something like that. But look, it will be interesting. All in all, the track here in Indonesia hasn't been too kind to Marc Marquez. So it will be interesting to see how he goes around here. But also, I think the biggest thing for me this weekend is to see, has that fix that Ducati worked on for Pecco, has it actually worked? And if it has, could we see Pecco and Mark go head to head finally? But I would definitely love to know your thoughts. What do you think of the upcoming race this weekend for the Indonesian Grand Prix at the Mandalika circuit? Definitely leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video.